Hello, this is Michael from Part-Time Permies, and we're going to be doing another quick dinner demonstration. Today we're going to be doing Scotch eggs. A Scotch egg is basically a hard-boiled or soft-boiled egg that is encased in some form of ground meat like sausage. So you could use an Italian or any other type of sausage. And then it's crumb coated and it is deep fried quickly just to cook the sausage, which insulates the egg, and brown the crumb. And then the middle, I like to make it soft boiled so that the middle is still a little bit, not runny, but not fully cooked. And you eat that as a appetizer, or you could eat it as a nice lunch or a dinner. And then we're going to put it with a little bit of Swiss chard that we got at the farmer's market on Saturday. So our components are eggs. These are our fresh eggs. Some of them were just brought in a few minutes ago. What I have done already is I poached them. I soft poached them, and I just poked a hole in them to help them peel. Boiling water, instead of starting with cold water like a hard-boiled egg where you start with cold salted water and bring it up in temperature, you start with boiling water and you cook it for 5 minutes, and at 5 minutes you take it right out and you cool it a little bit in just some ice water, some cold water. Soft-boiled eggs are not always made a lot. They are one of the most wonderful ways to eat eggs, in that you can take the shell and you can either carefully whack it with a knife and break it open and scoop out the center, is one of the most common ways. You can try and peel it. This is probably a soft to medium boiled egg. I do need it to hold together. Really need this to hold together, so I think we're all right. So we're probably a medium boiled egg. So this is a great way to have all the excitement and flavor of a runny egg, but not having it staring at you in the face. If kids don't like them, you want to introduce them. You have it warm. It's easy to cook. 5 minutes boiling water right out into a cup. They even make all these old time like English and I don't know, Irish, Scottish little egg cups that will hold the egg to allow you to scoop it and eat it out of these little ceramic or metal holders, but they're egg holders. So one step after having that really nice warm egg for breakfast or lunch is to make this Scotch egg with the sausage casing on it. So it's kind of heavy food. Yeah, this is nice. I think it's about right. Hasn't broken yet. Has a little crack in it. And so I pricked these. Really fresh eggs don't peel very well. I think a lot of people have figured that out. They're really fresh and good, but not so easy to peel. One way you can help it is to shock it in really nice ice cold water. The other thing you can do is prick it with an egg pricker, or maybe a little, some other device like a needle or an end of a fork or something small. But you take the big end of it and you give it one little prick right before you pour in the water, and that helps relieve the pressure on the little air pocket in there, and possibly allow a little bit of water in between the shell and the membrane, allowing for a much easier peeled egg. I don't know how many of you have boiled eggs. I've boiled sometimes like 3 flats, like 90 eggs of fresh eggs, and then if you don't shock them well enough, or staff don't shock them well, and you go to peel them, and if it's egg salad, it's just fine, although it takes a lot of time. But if it's deviled eggs and they need to look good, you got all these pocked eggs with chunks out of them, and you have to figure out what to do. I have some pork sausage. This is Italian pork sausage. I had it frozen. It's from a local farm. As many of you know, I do like to make my own sausage, but I don't have any loose bulk sausage right now. So next best thing is a really small local farm that there's nothing special. It's just sausage. So you could use breakfast sausage. You could use chorizo or an andouille or something that's a little spicy. You can about anything, whatever you're designing. I'm gonna mash this out. So I got a I don't know, a couple ounces here, 2, maybe almost 3 ounces. I don't know. I think I have a pound here, so I can't go over 4 ounces, but I don't want to use too much because I need a thin enough coating that it's going to cook evenly. get the egg warm in the middle before it overcooks the outside. You could pound this out between two pieces of plastic. You could roll it out or pound it out a little bit. Try and fill in a few gaps here. Again, rolling this between some sheets of plastic might be the efficient way if you're going to make a bunch of them. Being able to scoop it up in some little sheets. If you have sausage in casings, you can actually, don't be afraid to cut the casings and just pull the sausage out. It's the same stuff. So if you're like, I don't have bulk sausage, don't worry. Cut them open. I've done that many times for like meat sauce, bolognese sauce or something, where I had Italian sausage links that we used on barbecues, and we're like, well, we didn't buy any bulk sausage, or we got all these links laying around, so we just cut the casings off, throw the casings away. Not a big deal. Pretty much same deal, same thing. Grind it and stuff it. Of course, if you spend all the time casing it, you know how much work that can be, and you're gonna feel bad that you cased all this sausage when you used it for bulk. So we got 4 really big shaped eggy things. We can do standard breading procedure. We are using a seasoned, Italian seasoned breadcrumb or a plain breadcrumb. You can use a gluten-free breadcrumb. You can use a gluten-free flour or rice starch or a variety of other starches or gluten-free product. That's fine. I could season it. I could put garlic, onion powder, salt, pepper, cayenne, all kinds of stuff. It doesn't, but you don't have to. So key here is I'm getting the flour to help coat and maybe lock in, gluten to lock in the meat a little bit, which is then going to grab the egg. This is just a small egg. You could add a touch of dairy if you have a little bit of milk or buttermilk and you wanted to thin it down. You could put a little bit, up to almost half and half. I may have to crack one more egg. We'll see. I'm just going to quickly coat this a little bit, and we're going in crumb. So this is standard breading procedure. Teach it all the time. Beginning level cooks and classes. So you start out with flour. And then you go to your wet, so dry product, wet product, dry product. So egg is the most common, or egg and dairy, and then into some form of crumb, fresh crumb, toasted crumb, seasoned crumb. So that's how you can bread about anything. If you really want it extra crispy, go back, egg it, and crumb it again. That's called double breading. Oil's here, just in a pot. A couple things when you're frying in a pot, don't fill it more than halfway full. Between the volume of the product you put in there, and the water, which causes it to boil up, it will, it can very easily boil over the top. And if you have it boil over the top, obviously you have a possibility for injury, burning, or having a fire. So keep it low. In fact, I'm just below half. And with these 4 big guys in here, I might be careful. I'm not sure if I'm even going to get all 4 in there. All right, I am at 391. I want to be about 350, so no hotter than this. But having the meat will cool it off quickly. If it frosts up a lot, just lift it up off the burner. Let it calm down. If it boils over the top, you want to smother it with baking soda or salt. It's hard to put out grease fires. The last thing you want to do is put water on it, because if you put water on it, the grease floats on top of the water evaporates, it's so hot, and it all sparks and aerosols up, and then you get a big grease fire, and that's really, really dangerous and hard to put out. So yeah, kitchen safety is a big deal if you don't have an electric covered fryer. And then the other things you can do is you can smother it, put a sheet pan on it. If I had a lot of oil, I can't really throw a rag on it or a towel, because that'll catch on fire. If it was a small amount of something, I might be able to smother it with a rag. So if I had a major issue, I'd probably find a sheet pan, try and cover it up. And
Or cast iron.
Cast iron pans, yeah, so one thing I do is put it right over the top. Try and smother it, but I may still get some flare up. I got my emergency that's been here for a while. If I really get in trouble, I got a little instant fire extinguisher, so I've never had to use it, but It's there. Right here I've got some candy shard or bright light Swiss chard that's multiple colors, although it seems to be red and purple. I don't see any of the yellow or other ones in there. Just got some oil, and we're gonna heat the pan up a little more. It's gonna sweat that. Shard cooks really fast. You don't need to braise it down much. It's tender. Just rinse it good and get the sand out of it. So these are nice golden brown, but I'm gonna let them go longer. Darker. I can recheck how much of the oil's cooled down with the cold sausage. I want to stay between 300 and 350 so it doesn't get soggy and go too much oil. It's like I'm around 280. So yeah, then we start out at almost 400. So I'm gonna pump the heat back up because we're not going to overflow, and make sure we get the heat up to the last bit and brown it off. You could add other things. I'm just going to add a little salt and pepper. Nothing else. They have some onion product in there, garlic, whatever. Doesn't need much. So the greens are nice and earthy. Good balance for the really rich Scotch eggs. I'm just going to get some nice greens in here. Now we could make a sauce for it. I would say mayonnaise sauce, fried items like mayonnaise sauces. I'm not going to do anything. I got some sriracha. Maybe we'll put a little sriracha on there, but it kind of kills the sort of European American frontier homestead. Probably throwing sriracha on it. That's all right.
It's fusion.
So I'm just pull this out. I could take a paper towel and dab it, but probably a little grease on there is not so bad. Playing around. This is what we do in the kitchen. We're trying to figure out how we're going to plate our stuff and make it look nice. Once we know what we want to put on the plate, how we're going to finish it. So we're going to just play with it. We've got some nice, this is German Dusseldorf mustard. I think it's actually imported. Somebody local is selling it. It's not very expensive. So it's kind of a strong, not quite as strong as Dijon. Swoosh on that, or we could do a little stroke on that, and then open. We can do prove that this works. We don't even know. But oh yeah, it works. So the beauty is the insulation of all that sausage, that 1/4 inch or so of sausage, actually just barely rewarms the egg. So your insurance policy is pretty good on this one, which means you have some time to get it to the table and don't wait too long. And you can quick finish it. You could make these and have them chilled probably in advance, the day before, and just throw them in your fryer in time to serve them. So that's a pretty neat deal. You can look like a star at brunch or at dinner, and people will be pretty happy. It'll go great with hard cider, beer, and I'm sure we can find plenty of wines, red, and maybe even some whites to go with it. So really, really versatile. So I'm Chef Michael. This is Part-Time Permies, and we're cooking at home for dinner. We can give a little.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Back up there.